Look, I think payments. I mean, we're quite in a very exciting stage right now. What we're seeing, in terms of the consumer, payments is becoming. I think there's three factors that are playing out. It's about being personal, right? What really speaks to me, what makes me feel good. It's about value and all of these kind of experiences that make a difference to me. Is something that's playing out in payment trends. Then what we're seeing is, and I can't miss it. You talk about intelligent payments. So I mean, you think about the youth of today, the AI being key in terms of how they transact and how they identify things to do. So what we're seeing is payments are becoming much more intelligent. And I think the last thing that's playing out is around the customer experience. Now, you think about today when you use an Uber, right? It's a seamless experience. So what we're seeing from a Mastercard perspective is that consumers are looking at more secure and invisible kind of authentication, invisible payments, and that's the key thing that's playing out. It needs to be personal, it's intelligent, and it's invisible. That's essentially what's playing out in the future. It goes without saying, right? I mean, the Gen Z population is much more of a digital native population, right? If you think about what's happening in terms of how they spend, it's all about value, right? How they can get the best value out of anything that they buy. So, and you take millennials. I mean, from a millennial perspective, it was all about views, customer reviews, trends, historical trends, and that's the way that it's shaping their payment habits. So I think if you think about the two, I mean, if I summarize it, one is purely value driven, being the Gen Z, digitally native, whereas you'll take a millennial that's more around understanding trends, historical reviews, and not so much ahead in terms of the technology. They will trust a physical card, and essentially those are some of the differences that we're seeing between millennials and Gen Zs. So, and quite interesting. I mean, when I spoke initially about the payment trends, right? What we're seeing, as I said, is payments are becoming much more intelligent, right? Now, with the Gen Z population, I mean, there's most of us use ChatGPT or Perplexity, and when we kind of do our payments, we do a bit of research through AI, right? So we'll ask. I'll give you a simple example. We ask the question around, I want to travel for the next 10 days. This is my budget, and I want to travel into these regions. What happens right now is you will get, the AI kind of agent that will provide you a list of options that are available in order to utilize. The consumer will now choose the best option, but essentially what happens is they will have to go out of there and find that vendor and then make the actual payment outside. What Mastercard is doing now is we're working in this space with the agents, where we're creating agentic pay, where essentially you would be able to log a token with the agent and make the payment seamlessly as soon as you've chosen your best option in terms of the purchase or the travel plan itself. So the world is moving towards the seamless experience, and the securities behind it becoming critical so that the consumer is protected as well. I'm glad you. So I think where we're getting to right now is, and if you look at a lot of these websites, and even in certain agents, consumer consent is becoming important, right? Consumers are not comfortable, sharing their data just widely. They need to make sure that it's in a controlled environment. I think what's playing out in terms of the securities is we need to balance off between the optimal customer experience as well as giving the necessary protection. So what Mastercard is doing in terms of securing the ecosystem, tokenization is becoming key, right? So essentially what will happen is you will not have card numbers in the open. We will convert these card numbers to tokens, which obviously it secures the environment because you don't have physical cards on there. Then what we're doing is we're getting to a point where checkout is becoming much more seamless. So based on tokenization, what we will now enable is pass keys on checkout. So you will use the biometrics on your phone in order to check out, and will give you the necessary securities and protection utilizing these pass keys. And then in scenarios where we don't have cards on file, but we're doing a guest checkout, what Mastercard is doing is working with the issuers in order to enable alias credentials. So we will use a mobile number or an email address to check out with the authentication methods like 3D Secure or passkeys in there. So I think holistically what we're doing is just making that payment experience much more simpler and secure.